Okay, just a little bit more. We'll spend a bit more time on the Vambrace here. So what we've done so far, if I just lower the subdivision down, is we've gone ahead and we've created the folds there. That's fine. It looks great. Hopefully, I think you guys have ended up with a similar result. But now it's time to finally address this part here at the top. Okay, so this kind of guard that we've introduced up here. Okay, so first thing we've got to do is it's a little bit kind of soft and round now since we've been doing the folds. So let's take a trim dynamic brush and we'll just go across here and just make sure that we've got this kind of flat edge back. Okay, we don't want these kind of sausage edges there. We just want to have these kind of nice flat edges there. Because again, it's leather, but we do want it to be kind of thickish leather so it's not going to warp so much. Oops. Just be careful about going too close to the edge. So we don't want these kind of sausage edges there. We just want relatively flat looking edges. The back's not too bad. Okay, I call this area the back, even though technically it's not, depending upon how you look at it. Okay, now I'd said that we wasn't going to do too much of this, but I do want to do something to it, and that something is basically just going to be suggesting the very kind of edge of it. Okay, so almost contrary to what we were just doing there, I'm just going to take the standard brush here, and I'm just going to, as I say, let's take the inflate brush actually, and I'm just going to use the inverse of it and just create a little kind of delve, I guess very near the edge there, just a little delve like this. Okay, and what I'd like to do later on in Substance Painter is create a whole edge essentially that goes all the way around this part here. Okay, so we're going to have like an edge that goes all the way around and like an outline if you like, and then we can have a nice pattern on the inside. Now I'm not going to do that in ZBrush because we're going to have a lot more control over that in Substance Painter, but what I am going to do there is I'm just going to create that little delving. Do you see that? And now that has sort of rounded out the edge a little bit, so we do have to go back with our trim dynamic brush to do the same thing we've just done, but it's important to sort of create this extra edge there just so we can sort of find it later on. And if we desolo it now, can you see how that sort of created that raised effect for us already? That's essentially what we're looking for. Okay, so again we'll just go back one more pass with the trim dynamic brush just on the very edge there. Be careful not to spill over too much, but just basically flatten out this edge like that, so we get rid of any kind of chunkiness because we don't want the chunk. Alright, and then just one more up here. Okay, smooth that out. Oops. You can see there we've almost got like a line. We've almost created that line right there and then. Okay. Now inevitably what's going to happen is it's going to start cutting into some of the fold work that we've done. Obviously we don't want that. So let's just take a damp standard brush and we'll just do a small brush pass under here at this subdivision level. We don't need to go up to 4. But just take a small damp standard brush and just try your best, almost like as if you were drawing a line under your nails. Just go all the way around here. Okay, try and fight for the thickness of the extra layer that we've done there as well. Try and be as consistent as you can as you go all the way around with the damp standard brush. And here inevitably you will lose out on some detail there as you fight to try and get that back. Okay, but that's fine as well. Just do your best. Okay, until we reach this part here, and we'll do the same thing. And don't be afraid to use the inverse to highlight the edge as well. Now let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll do a bit of a deeper cut, and then we've got to do this seam here, okay, which goes all the way, maybe a bit smaller, goes all the way up, because this is the kind of stitching part of the whole Vambrace. Okay, use the inverse there. The fun bit here, let's use a stronger intensity, inverse, and we'll just kind of do a wibbly wobbly line following up all the way up here. Okay, just so we've got that kind of wibbly line there, because that's where the folds are. Okay, same here as well. Alright, and you can do a little pass with a damp standard brush, just very lightly up here. Well, nothing too major. In fact, I'll probably undo that particular part, and then one more pass using the pinch brush, which is here. Okay, so just refine the shape a little bit more. Let's see. I would say, if you want a bit of advice, try and focus on more broad strokes, quick strokes rather than small strokes. You just want a general idea here. Okay, something like that. Okay, and maybe let's just do a little bit, oh, not at that level, subdivision level 2 perhaps. We'll just kind of use the inverse of the standard brush a little bit. Just create a few different, some light folds of course, maybe very just suggestions, very haphazardly. You can see what I'm doing here. Nothing too major, and I can't stress that enough, nothing too major here, just some light folds across and smooth it out. And you might be thinking, well, why are we doing that? Because even though this part of the Vambrace is leather, is stiff, it is still leather. So there's going to be just some small undulations going all the way across it like this. Okay, so if we look at it like that, you can see we've got some interruptions there. Okay, and we just take the damn standard brush, nice and big, low intensity. We'll do the same thing. Oh, even lower intensity. I'll just do some similar ones. Oops, not towards the edge. Not a good idea to get too close to the edge. You can see I'm barely having an effect, so I can be quite, what can I say, haphazard about this. Okay, that's the effect basically what you're looking for. And let's just kind of pinch this a bit better. There we go. Create a bit more consistency around the top edges there. Now let's pull back a little bit. I'm going to suggest to you, now you don't have to do it, but I think these shirt areas now, I think if we turn the texture off, these shirt areas are actually hanging too low. I'm going to bump it back up to somewhere around where her elbows would be, because I think in our work we might have gone a little bit too far. And I'm just going to put this up a bit more. Okay, just bring it up a little bit higher, which means the Vambrace also has to come up higher to meet it. And there, that generally looks a little bit better to me, just because that looks like it's more properly around where her elbows are. Well, I'll say it's sitting in a better place. It looks a bit more realistic, being a bit further up like this. Okay. And of course we've got to move this strap now, which I can't seem to select. Well, actually, on the straps, I know I've kept saying that, we'll kind of do it in Maya and whatnot, but I think because these straps are so close to the actual Vambrace here, I think what we could do is we could do something else. It's a little bit maybe perhaps unorthodox, but not too bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, it seems a little bit strange, but I'm just going to go over to my subtool and let's go around where the Vambrace is. I'm going to go insert, and I'm going to insert a cylinder, and I'm sure you already know what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to resize that, and this is what we would have done in Maya, but we can do this in ZBrush as well. Okay, and depending how much we play around with this, we could even just use this almost to retopologize in Maya a little bit later on. Okay, so just going to bring it down to roughly the right size. It's important you keep the pivot in the correct orientation for this part here, because if you don't, it's just going to get a bit more challenging and a bit more difficult. Okay, we're just going to basically replace the strap that has unfortunately been pushed around a lot by me in this course so far. Now I do want it to be a little bit higher up because I've extended the glove a little bit more, or the Vambrace. and without the distraction of the other one being there. So let's hide it, and we'll go back to our cylinder. There we go. So this is basically going to be our new strap. You might be thinking, well, it's a solid shape, you know, why would you do that? It's a solid shape. But like I said, it's so tight, it doesn't matter, okay? And that's the idea I want to go for here. So we've got some resolution there. If we subdivide this now, it's just going to get smoother. We're going to have that edge there. So I think we want this strap to be not so rigid. I don't mind this strap being kind of like almost like a leather strap itself, less of a belt but more of a leather strap. So I'm going to go to Z Mesh here, and I'm going to say, you know, hey, double the number of polygons you got, just see what you give me. Okay, and that's what it gives me. So if I subdivide this now, it's now going to, no autosave, it's now going to give me a smoother strap like this, which is actually what I was probably more wanting, to be honest with you. Now if we subdivide it even more, it's probably going to get a bit too smooth. So I'd like to sort of crease it where it is now. So we got those creased edges there. And if we subdivide it again, that's about as smooth as I'd want it to go. Okay, so that's how we're going to do this strap there. So let's bring it back down to a lower subdivision level. We'll keep it like this for now. But before we do anything, before we do any changing and moving, let's duplicate it so we've got one for the lower part there. We'll hide it for now. Right, so all we've got to do here is use our move tool now to just more tightly wrap this sort of cylinder as closely as we can to this Vambrace. Okay, it's going to be a bit tricky, but just try and be as consistent as you can with the overall thickness as it goes around. Okay. Now you're naturally going to get some areas here where as it dips down in height, you're going to get more of the strap visible. That's fine, I'll show you how to address that in just a minute. And of course any other areas here that are clipping, feel free to alter the trajectory of the belt a little bit. It's not going to be completely straight all the way around. Okay, so I've got a little bit there, a bit sticking out here. Okay, alright, let's pull that down a bit. Just take a bit of time to get it right. And I would sort of say this strap's a bit too thin. Let's go back to our gizmo and we'll enlarge it a bit more. Yeah, I quite like a large strap on top here. Okay. Right, so any part that changes in height, mask it off, and then just sort of pull it down almost like this. Oh, got a big boot in our face, that's not good. Okay, same here, different change in height, mask it off. Just pull it down a bit, there you go. Right, and let's flip that mask. We'll try and do something about that little gap there. There we go. Okay. So there you go. That's quite an effective way of creating another strap, if you like. Okay, and if we subdivide this now, there you go, and you smooth it out. Well, you kind of lose a lot of the resolution that way, but that's basically what you can do there. That's not a bad strap. Okay, that's pretty good. I don't mind that at all. Maybe just refine that a bit more. Okay, and now the pièce de la résistance. Okay, we need a little bit. I don't think we can use an IMM brush in the current state like here, but I'm going to try. I'm going to add a little buckle type, and it says, nope, you can't do it on multiple subdivision levels, which is really annoying. So I'll tell you what, let's meet it halfway. We'll just use subdivision level 2, and we'll just kind of do a bolt buckle here. I'm actually, depends where you want to put the buckle, but I think I'd rather have the buckle looking at it like this. Either probably, yeah, I want to have it down there. So I'm going to just draw a buckle. Now this is an IMM brush that everybody should have as far as I know. I haven't got any custom brushes installed in ZBrush here. So everyone should have access to these. So I'm just going to draw this belt buckle, put it into place. There you go. Okay. Now where's the other strap that we hid earlier? There it is. This is probably a good size. We'll just move it down into the correct area. We can bring back the old ones as a guide. Bring back the old, there we go. And where is that guy? He's down here, so let's just scrunch that in. You can see this is a lot smaller, so we'll just resize it to its better fit. Okay, and let's alter the trajectory a little bit. Have it sit like that. Now let's get rid of the old ones, and we'll just do exactly the same thing we did on the upper parts there. We used the move brush, rather larger. We'll just kind of squish it round, basically, so that it looks more like a strap. So here. Okay. It's quite a back and forth process. You'll have to make some decisions depending upon how much you wanted to bend and kind of warp around the wrist there, and how stiff you want it to be. It all depends on what kind of fabric you're picturing in your mind. And of course, I didn't show you with this one on the kind of upper strap there, but if you want to have that, you know, sort of typical thing where the strap is a bit, what do you call it, a bit undulated in the middle, use the inflate brush and just lightly kind of go across the whole thing like this. Okay, and you can see that it's just basically going to bevel out the edges so it looks like a strap. Okay, don't go too much with that effect, just a little bit so it looks nice. Pull back a bit. Yeah, I think that strap's a bit too thick for this particular part here, so I'm going to use the scale tool and just scrunch it down a bit. There we go. It's clearly smaller than the one above it. And this part here now, I'm going to have to change the Vambrace a little bit. Use my standard brush and kind of knock this area back into where it ought to be. Like so. Okay, maybe do a few little changes. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's fine. Back to the strap, and we'll leave it on subdivision level 3 for this guy here. And then same as we did earlier, we'll bring in the IMM brush and we'll do a buckle. I want it in basically the same place as the one above it. So put it in there, arrange it. Okay, so that's okay. Do I like it placed there? Maybe a bit lower down. Okay, and you can always cheat, of course. You don't have to completely play by the rules. If this little guy's annoying you, just knock him down. Just push him down. Where is it? Let's mask him out and invert them. Oops, that's not a good idea. Let's see. Mask that, and then we'll mask that. No, what am I doing? Hide that. Mask this area out. There we go. Yep. And then flip the mask. Yes. Thank you, brain. It's working again. Just push that down. Yes, there you go. It's cheating, technically, but it saves us time. Okay, and if your folds are getting in the way a little bit there, don't worry about it. You can always just change them around, no problems. Okay. Oh, don't want to do all that. Mask, rotate. And it's surfacing again. Get down, you. There you go. Okay, so we'll just do one last little step here. Invert the mask for this upper one here. Okay, so this is a little bit of a... This is something I always forget. But now that we've got this kind of buckle attached here, we're going to have to do another thing, which is essentially split by group. So we're going to split, group split. That's fine. Because silly me, and I'm glad this happened, because in case you did the same mistake, we'll subdivide this first. That's why it doesn't let you do that on multiple subdivision level meshes. We'll just use the deflate trick here as well, just to create a bit more of an appearance of a strap. And of course, if you go too far in any particular area, you can just inflate it back up again, so don't worry about that. Okay, now we've got this little area here. Let's inflate that. Inflate that. Okay. Right, so now we're happy, more or less, I think. Let's subdivide it again. There we go. That looks like a better strap now. We could actually play into this a little bit here. That's better. Cool. Should have done that in the first place, perhaps. There we go. Nah, let's not do that. Okay, so we'll finally place this guy where he wants him to be. Where's the gizmo gone? Gizmo, I think the gizmo has gone somewhere off into the cosmos. There he is. Don't know what he's doing down there, so never mind. We'll have to put him here, rotate the gizmo. And let's just, there we go. And we'll cheat a little bit. We'll use the move tool. And we'll just kind of move him around to where we want it to be, rather than where it wants to sit. There we go. And we can go back to this strap again. We'll delete the lower subdivisions and we'll finally merge it back down to its little buckle. Okay. So what does that mean? What have we got so far? Well, you can see there we've now got a completed glove. Okay. Don't worry if the armlet on the top here looks a little bit too smooth. I'm going to add, my intention is to kind of add a pattern into there in Substance Painter, and then it won't look like that anymore. Okay. But well done, guys. We've completed the gloves essentially. Okay. That's the gloves there, all good to go. We've got the straps in there. I'm quite happy with that result. So the next part that we're going to tackle now is the dreaded vest. The vest is the center point of the character, so we're going to spend a bit of time on that, trying to get this to look as best as it possibly can. Okay. Alright, fantastic work, guys. Well done on the gloves there. I'll see you in the next video.